Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, we're going to take a look at Aussie yen because there's a couple of different opportunities we can look at. We can actually look at both a sort of short-term and long-term opportunity around this market, because at the moment what we're seeing in the stock market is a decline which usually affects the risk currencies, and the perfect sort of risk pair to watch is Aussie yen. It reacts really well to the risk sentiment in the markets, whether that be a risk off or risk on sentiment. So when we're in this risk off sentiment what we're in at the moment, we usually see the Aussie yen prices decline, which in the short term could offer some short term trades and opportunities. However, the bigger picture is that we could actually be seeing a long-term move, and I know we've spoken about this in the past, but there's some confluences that I just wanted to add to this move. Now, if I just kind of get this a little bit minimized so we can see the bigger picture as well on the right hand side. So we can see here basically we have this uptrend that we talked about in the past on Aussie yen, and the fact that we've had this resistance around about 78.17. Price has come back into it, and we've formed this indecision, or this sort of wick doji off of this previous resistance area. So is this basically turning into support? Are we going to get the higher low pattern, and is price going to move back up into these highs? That's what we're kind of looking at here. Now, when the market does this or forms an impulse phase, we like to look for higher highs and higher lows, which would suggest that the market could be moving into an uptrend. So although we don't have that specific at the moment, which we'll look at in a second, there are other confluences that we can add. And the one thing that I wanted to look at was a little bit of COT data. Now this is very, very basic COT data. However, what this is showing us is how the commercials are positioned long in the market. Now, the last time they were heavily long like this was actually back in March 2020, and we're back up at similar levels now. And if we actually just look back at what March 2020 looked like for the commercials, this was when we saw the sort of coronavirus drop through here. Now, basically, commercials are going to add bigger positions in sort of low prices, or where they see value. Okay, so when price is declining, commercials will add further long positions. Okay, that's because they're looking to use the currency for more for commercial use. Okay, so they look to hedge their positions essentially. What we have then is when they load up on a load of contracts, we often see the market turn. Okay, we often see a huge reversal form in the market, and we're getting a similar thing now. Prices or contracts are getting around a similar sort of area as this area was in the past. And look at the huge move that we had after that. Now it's getting in a similar area. We're back at previous support. Is that going to have the same effect for the market going forward? Well, potentially. So going into the daily time frame, because essentially what do we need to see now? We need to see higher highs and higher lows form. We don't technically have that yet. Okay, what we do have is a higher high, but we do not have a higher low, higher high pattern, because what we saw recently was the market formed a lower low, we rejected, and this is the move. So we have a lower low and a higher high. In a trending condition, what I would want to see is higher highs and higher lows before getting long. So ideally what I'd want to see now is price break above this area here and continue to the upside, or alternatively we look for some kind of reversal patterns, whether that be price pushing back into this zone here, forming a double bottom, and then changing trend and moving to the upside. That is also something that I would like to see in order to start buying Aussie yen. So long term, we can start looking for those things. However, short term, if we're expecting price to potentially retest this zone once again, where we saw some short term demand from the market, if we actually go to the 4-hour time frame, we can see a really decent downtrend that's been forming for quite a while now. The market basically starting to make those lower lows and lower highs. Until that changes, we have to stay short in the short term. Okay, so what I'll be looking for is for price to pull back into these structure lows, whether we found some support recently. If we then start to form some bearish price action, we could look for some short positions in here down to that major demand zone. When we get into that demand zone and price changes trend on the 4 hour, that's a really good sign that we are going to see either a retracement phase or a new impulse phase in the market. Now, looking at all these sort of long-term confluences put in together, that could see a significant impulse phase come out of Aussie yen very, very soon. So keep an eye on it. It's one to watch. Put it in the sort of watch list every week. Keep an eye on where price is going to be. I'll obviously update you when we're in this zone. But in the short term, I think it's best to stay short on Aussie yen. In the longer term, we can start to look for some buying positions when we get to these key areas. Thanks for watching this video update. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for some more Forex content, and I will catch you in the next video.